All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another Clearmud live stream. This is episode 3 of the Hermes Agent Boot Camp. Today is all around automation, right? Automating our team that we built yesterday on the foundation that we set up on Friday. So without further ado, let's build. All right, before we get started, I'm gonna wait for chat to fill up here. I know today is probably one of those days where most people will watch this recording, but nevertheless, let's just vibe for 5, 10, 15 minutes at most. And let me prep a few things off screen here. How's everyone doing today? Ooh, I see some comments on YouTube, but I can't pin them because I just started. Right on, Cuban. Hope you have a good day. Ryan, likewise. Going to an open house. Hey, happy shopping. That should be fun. Might as well go ahead and like while waiting. Nudges everyone. Appreciate you, Sean. How you doing today? All right. Doing well, Greg. I cannot complain, man. I'm been having a lot of fun with 5.6 and some Fable, of course. I'm actually very curious. Let's today is the 12th, right? Did Anthropic make an announcement yet? I've been doing my own thing this morning. Okay, yep, there it is. 17 minutes ago on all played fans. Through July 19th now. I mean, we all saw this coming, right? I mean, we all saw this coming. That's hilarious. But it's keeping 50%. Wait. It's just only through 50% of your weekly plan, though, as well as keeping Cloud Code's weekly rate limits 50% higher. Oh, that's right. They were doing some promo where your weekly limits were just in general higher. So both were set to end today, I believe, right? I know, right? That was so predictable. Hey, right on, Sean. Right on. Well, hey, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for catching as much of this live stream as you can. Yeah, today I did a part infra day yesterday. I had some backlogged cleaning I had to do, so I was doing laundry from like 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. pretty much. So many loads, you know how you let things accumulate and you're like, oh shoot, that needs to happen today. So that was a good part of my day yesterday after the live stream, of course. Hey, right on. Nice, nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, wow. All right. Well, I'm glad I didn't rush to spend all my tokens because I also kind of foresaw this. It's like, wow, 5.6 is killing it. Anthropic can't just... I'm not going to try to... Plus, they got me once, right? They got me once. Practically stayed up all night the night before. Used all my usage just to see them extend it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not falling for that again on Anthropic. I'm just not falling for that again. Yo, what's up, Sharma? How we doing today? Oh, that's hilarious. Also, I'm teasing the new logo. I don't know if we're going to make it our... this is the logo I'm using on invoicing and just the business side of things. I don't know if I'll change the YouTube logo, our avatar. We'll see. We'll see. We're a work in progress over here, so we're building public. We're kind of just updating as we go. And then we're getting back to posting on X and LinkedIn. I wanted to take a break because I felt like I was getting a little bit too repetitive, like copy pasta, and I don't like that. So, all right. Oh, looks like I get to work with some Fable tonight. Nice. Yeah, tough game yesterday, man. Like, literally all my teams. I was rooting for Norway. Now Norway's kicked out. Like, man, what's going on with this World Cup? I highly doubt England makes the next round. Sorry, England fans. It's going to be Spain or France versus Argentina. I mean, like, Argentina is the poster child or the poster boy for FIFA right now, and has been for the past 8 years, maybe, roughly. I think they garner some of the most attention worldwide. Hey, right on, Corey. Thank you. You as well. You as well. Drop any notes as far as, so today is going to be more of a back and forth type of day. I think playing off the comments is going to be very important today, as far as, you know, if you want to see a certain automation done that either you're having trouble with or you're just curious to see how I would set it up, drop a comment. You know, I have a few ideas of what we're going to be doing today, but it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be based off of audience feedback. So if you do have a few minutes and you want to see me build something specific with the team that we've structured, now's the time, Corey. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I mean, it might, but I'm going to keep rooting for my teams. It's the only way I know. I mean, I'm curious. Any Argentina fans in here? It's all love at the end of the day. It's all love for the game, but I'm curious. Any fans of the sport who still have their team involved? Let me rephrase that. I also found this X post. I don't know if I brought this up to you guys. I kind of want to try it. Let's see. Let me go to my saved bookmarks. Now, this does involve expanding our team. But if you guys just want this link, let me know. I found this interesting article here where, because I'm a big Notebook LM fan. I may not use it as frequently as I should, but I found that early on, like, to be just a hack for one of my favorite use cases for Notebook LM is like Alex Hermosi, for example. Any of those big names who have a ton of 2 to 3 hour interviews across the board with a lot of different people. What you can do is just paste in source YouTube URL links within Notebook LM and then create this podcast format to where you can ask questions pertaining to whatever it is you're working on, whatever it is your business is, your personal brand, whatever. And they answer based on all of the source transcriptions that it downloads and logs from those source URLs. And you can actually talk, right? There's like two people talk, two AI talking back and forth. You can raise your hand at a moment in time throughout the podcast. It's a pretty nifty, fun feature. I really, really love it. But I found this and it caught my eye, of course. I was like, ooh, Notebook LM. This is great. This would involve making a separate team. So I don't know if this is something we do. And let me rephrase that. Not making a separate team, but adding on to our existing team. But it's very interesting. If you guys want the link, let me know. I read through it last night and it was enough for me to bookmark. He even gives us, you know, souls for each. I hate these default names, to be honest. People need to get a little bit more creative. Yeah. Hey, good day, John. How we doing today? I'd like to see and hear ideas for multi-brand agents with full comms in Hermes. Can you elaborate a little bit further, please? Maybe I just haven't had enough coffee today. Let me turn that down. It's overcast today. It's cold outside, but for this post or for Notebook LM, John? Super helpful audio overviews for clients also. Yes. So recently, my head of clients on my Hermes Agent system, I just feed him my meeting, whether it's a Google Meet, whether it's in person and I'm recording it. I have a Google Drive I've shared with that particular agent. And anytime I upload a new video or audio file, I have it transcribe and pull meeting notes for me. Rather than using the Gemini built-in one into Google Meet, it's able to detect different voices and assign names to them. It's pretty nifty. It's pretty cool. It allows me to, and then I obviously have the meeting to rewatch if I want to make sure nothing slipped through the cracks. But you know, when you're in a meeting, you want to pay attention. One thing I've learned just in my young career is when I'm in a meeting and I'm taking notes, it feels like I'm not paying attention and things do slip through the cracks. But now I just record all my meetings and I pay attention to the client. I take minimal notes, you know, I'll star certain things that I deem very, very important, but nevertheless, it's an awesome use case. Elaborate. Rather than a custom message bus, is there a way for peer agents in Hermes to communicate autonomously and do work while I am asleep? Reliably, that is. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, surface level. Yes, there is. And we can walk through that. We can walk through that. They have their own like inboxes to where if you only chat with one agent and you want a message to get across to another agent. I discovered this through my setup with Telegram is I now only communicate with Neo, right? And anytime I tell him to, you know, communicate X, Y, and Z to another agent, that other agent will start responding because he sends a message through, I think it's called the runtime inbox, something along those lines. We can put that to the test today for sure. Other clients also, rather than reading docs. Wait, did I miss a comment up there? Older clients love it also, rather than reading docs, absorb audio better while researching. Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, let me post this in Discord real quick. All right. I'll just put it in chat. I gotta say, I love seeing, you know, opening up Discord and just seeing flows of communication. This is great. Discord's starting to get lively. Yes, for sure. It works with Reddit out of the box. You don't have to request a Reddit API key. I think that's more so if you're building a specific web app that needs to call on Reddit, right? That needs to scrape Reddit. Then you have to submit a request, share what you're building, and they either approve or deny you. Last I checked, that was the process. Okay, forgive me. Yeah, you were talking about Notebook LM audio overviews. Yep. No, it does not. It does not. So look at what they announced, eh? Right here. We're extending Fable 5 access on all paid plans, as well as keeping that 50% weekly usage limits higher through July 19th. Whoops, I hit a hotkey that took out my video. Good stuff. So predictable. So predictable. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right. Right? So predictable. It's just comedic at this point. It's just comedic at this point. It's like that is it the Michael Jackson gif where he's just eating popcorn, face lit up by the movie screen, and he's just like having fun eating this popcorn, watching this everything unravel. That's how I feel with this whole Anthropic thing at this point. Yeah, right on. Hey, of course. Always happy to share what I find. Now, let's start off this episode with /learn. I think this would be a good, we're just going to keep it with Yoda. GM Yoda. Let's start it off right. Waste some tokens, say good morning. There's no other way to do it, right? Today's all about automation, skills, crons, learning, and building an autonomous system. Let's chat with him. Listen, I like chatting with my agents. Listen, if you're operating off of retail API costs, chances are you may not want to do this. And also, I had this thought before the live stream. Mr. Baker is correct to an extent, right? Reading the docs, I think, is more valuable if maybe you don't have the budget for one of these subscriptions for $200 a month to use the latest and greatest, whether it's Opus 4.8, Fable 5. There's a little workaround. You can still use Fable 5, although it's kind of frowned upon. And then obviously now GPT's 5.6 Sol. I don't mind burning tokens because I'm not paying retail costs, but Mr. Hermes is always is a big advocate for reading the docs and not asking your agent to do it for you. I think that's valid when you have a cheaper model operating as your agent brain, because that agent may not perform the same as a 5.6 Sol or 4.8 on high. So there's a time and a place, right? Listen, you should always understand what you're building and how it works. Yes. But you can also ask your agent to teach you as well. A worthy focus. Automation that merely runs its machinery. Automation that observes, learns, verifies, and improves becomes the system. Let's demo the learn command real quick. So I'm going to say learn. And let's go link in that article, shall we? Where did it go? Copy link. Oh, it was literally right there. Oh, that is not the link we wanted, huh? Bam. So let's look at how this works. /learn, the request, the link, crest is open-ended, and may mix two kinds of content and in orders, sources. Okay, so this is that template. Gather the source, the username. So this is the, I guess, the built-in /learn skill. Interesting. See what it does. Be very curious. Because my normal approach for something like this, when I find an interesting link, I just give it to the agent. But I want to see how this /learn works. Because I'll be honest, I haven't used it that much, because my favorite process is please learn from this link. Now, underlying, I'm sure it calls on it now that it's a default option or rather feature of Hermes Agent. But before they incorporated /learn, when was this? Maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at this point? I have 3 tiers for apps council, budget to the max, council of LLMs, swapping council members. Nice, nice. All right, let's also go pull up the demo Yoda Telegram. Open a new window. Boom. All right, looks like it did kick off. Our automation for the morning stand-up did kick off from yesterday, right? 6 a.m. But you know what didn't kick off is all of our other, like the morning brief. Maybe I only set those to weekdays. So we'll figure out what's going on here. So it gives us a text. It essentially gives us the transcript. It's 5 minutes. Let's listen to it real quick.
This is an abbreviated weekend check. No current source fact, pane signal artifact, or qualified candidate is available yet, so no product conclusion is supportable. Daily ideation and evidence maintenance remain required, but weekend routine selection and prototype initiation are prohibited. I will report only material new evidence. Unresolved gaps should be assigned through Kanban. Engineering should join only for a material incident or active prototype decision. Confidence is high on process constraints and insufficient on any product opportunity.
Marketing weekend check, no validated audience evidence, selected product candidate, active prototype decision, or material incident was provided for review. I recommend no new positioning, campaign, or routine build today. Carry forward any unresolved audience, differentiation, willingness to pay, and acquisition channel questions to the next full weekday stand-up. Marketing will develop implementation-ready positioning only after research supplies current evidence and Yoda selects a direction.
Operations green. Daily SAS stand-up opened. Agenda: review recent pane evidence, candidate scoring, active prototype status, incidents, Kanban blockers, and pending approvals.
Kanban.
Operations will validate rubric compliance, assign owners, record dependencies, and require completion evidence. No build begins without Yoda's decision. Weekend checks cannot initiate routine builds.
Weekend stand-up begins.
That voice sounded good,
Research,
actually.
report fresh pane signals
open
and
source.
evidence. Marketing, test audience, willingness to pay, and differentiation.
That just sounds
Operations, surface blockers,
Rick Rubin.
unresolved actions, and lifecycle risks. Engineering joins only for a material incident or active prototype decision. Evidence before enthusiasm, routine builds, initiate we will not. Converged, we are not yet.
Research update: no fresh, source-fact pane signals or qualified candidate are available in the supplied evidence, so I cannot substantiate audience demand, willingness to pay, differentiation, or a product recommendation. I challenge any attempt to infer opportunity from this absence. For this abbreviated weekend check, research recommends no selection and no routine build. Carry the evidence gap to Kanban for the next full weekday stand-up. Research owns current pane signal collection and candidate scoring. Marketing analysis depends on that evidence. No material incident or active prototype decision has been identified that requires engineering. Research is converged on no action beyond evidence follow-up.
Marketing converges. No validated audience, demand, willingness to pay, differentiation, or channel evidence exists to support positioning, campaign work, candidate selection, or a routine build. Assign research the next weekday.
All right, we're not going to listen to the whole thing because there's not a lot of data on the system. So their conversations are kind of, it feels repetitive or just, you know, not really useful to me right now. But we set up the foundation of it. So if you have an existing Hermes agent system, go check yesterday's episode or live stream episode 2 because we set up this feature. And as you can see, it's bug free, right? It works. Now you would want to fine tune it. Of course, I wouldn't be happy with this moving forward, but nevertheless, it works. So that's wonderful. I was actually shocked. I was expecting it not to work because that's the reality of some of these automations is you'll discover the next day that there was some type of blocker that prevented it from going through the pipeline, and we have to figure out the why. But I think we did a good enough job to explain that the only blockers are spending money, customer-facing posts, or updating anything in production, right? So aside from that, there should be no blockers. So if we were to go into, and we'll talk about what that just spit out in a second. Let's go check out the Kanban. Team operations, so 8 total tasks. Oh, it looks like there is some blocked messages here 23 hours ago. Okay. Oh, that's right. We decided to not create separate Telegram and bot credentials for the sake of saving time on these live streams, right? Because we had already did that episode 1. It's up to you if you want to do this with your team. If you guys want to see me walk through this today, I'd be happy to. Just let me know. Okay. I'm curious, why did that change the highlighter effect? Oh, it changes every time? Look at that. That's actually kind of cool. I think I might want to incorporate that into our site. And a front-end design skill like standard for dark mode. Interesting. I like that a lot. Okay, that was during the smoke test. Yeah, so these were during the live stream. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. Interesting. To me, it just feels like let's vibe our way through this, because this is already built, but it's still sitting in to do. Configure and assure daily stand-up operations. Yeah, this is already built, but it's still in to do. The blockers are irrelevant. Those should have been archived. Huh. Interesting. Let's vibe our way through with Yoda. Hey, good morning, Yoda. So, good job on the stand-up. I see it worked. I see our other crons, correct me if I'm wrong, did not kick off this morning. The only cron I see that was delivered was the morning stand-up. Is that because we don't have anything scheduled for Sunday? Or did things fail? Please look into it. Also, the Kanban board, I'm seeing 2 items in to-do that are technically done, as well as 3 items in blocked that we addressed yesterday during our live stream. So to me, it feels like the Kanban isn't being utilized nor updated. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please report back with your findings. All right, we're doing a little learning. Let's go back to that main TY chat here in the dashboard. Put that up there. Really? Really? How cheap? I'd be curious. Listen, in the coming months, I'll be able to allocate a certain budget for API inference for these types of use cases. Right now, I'm bootstrapping, so I'm trying to be as frugal as possible, using open source whenever possible, trying to save money. So that's why I use those voices from Microsoft Edge TTS. Because they're not horrible. They're not the best, but a few of them actually surprised me. And then one of them just straight up sounds like Rick Rubin. I don't know if anybody caught that, but that's a Rick Rubin voice right there. Yeah, they really are. Hey, all good, man. Life comes up. I'm also streaming on a weekend. Weekends for family, friends, and disconnecting, right? So I totally understand it. All good. How you doing today? Any questions from yesterday? Did you happen to rewatch it? Waiting for him to respond. So he generated a skill, Hermes Autonomy Roadmap. Access Hermes across a 15-level capability model and select smallest verified automation increment. Captured from the X article, foundation, leverage, autonomy progression, skills, MCPs, delegation, crons, profiles, knowledge bases. Cost control patterns, profile isolation and accountability, success and failure, path verification, evidence-based maturity. Okay. All right. Do I have to, oh, I have to reload skills. That's right. Because I didn't reload the TUI chat. Right on, right on. Yeah, tomorrow's all about fine-tuning wiring, just covering all our bases, so to speak. Anything we missed, we'll finish tomorrow. But today is I'm not going to save the Q&A for the end. I think it's important to kind of work our way through certain questions and things people would like to see based off of the team that we've built, which is very standard, right? You know what I think that's a solid start. Why is that taking so long to reload there? But their delivery failed. The system health morning brief was never actually scheduled, and the Kanban is materially stale. I performed a read-only audit and made no scheduler Kanban mutations. Happened this morning. Daily brief did not kick off. Engineering daily health pass did not kick off. Both missing reports exist locally. So the agents did complete their work, but delivery failed with, I thought we fixed that yesterday, root cause. Inside their department profile, not through Yoda's configured Telegram and Discord homes. Got it. Okay. Versus midday expectation check is still due today at 12. Okay. 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 Yeah, we did rename that from marketing to creative. Recommended correction, route department, Cron delivery through Yoda's shared. Yep. Create missing, reconcile to stand-up cards to done. Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Proceed. I have nothing to add. You know, usually if you have something to add there, that's when you add it in there. Yep. It's comedy, right? This is like Comedy Central with Anthropic. Yeah, exactly. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me scroll up. Yeah, I think what I'll start off doing... Hold on, let me first get to Greg's question. Rather than a custom message bus, is there a way for peer agents... Okay, yeah. Now, to expand on this, Greg, would you like to be able to see that chat happening real time? Like, for example, do you want a Discord channel with all of your agents with their own individual bots talking to each other in that channel? Or do you want to be able to message your default orchestrator, default profile, whoever that is in your organization, to then spin up those prompts and start talking with your agents back and forth? Like, do you want that proof, or do you just want to see the output? That's my question. And we can walk through it. I think to get the episode started, though, let's first fix what's broken. Okay. Skill. Let me just hard refresh this. I have to start a new chat. It's not populating. There it is. Tell me more about this. So now we can read this skill actually line for line. User invoked, indicating that it wants you to follow its instructions. Great. Okay, this is how autonomous my... Now, I think it might have kind of misconstrued or like combined my question before with the link that I provided. Do I have to start a new session to run /learn? All right. I love the summarization. The skill is a compass for building autonomy, not an automation by itself. It examines what Hermes can actually demonstrate, identifies the present bottleneck, and recommends the smallest safe improvement. What makes it useful? The original article presents 15 levels as a progression. The skill turns that progression into an operating model. Inventory, score, find bottleneck, build one slice, test failure, promote with evidence. It prevents the common mistake of enabling profiles, crons, MCPs, browser automation, and Kanban all at once, creating an impressive configuration that nobody has proved works. The 4 evidence states, let's finish reading this. Every relevant capability receives 1 status: absent, not installed, or configured, present but no real execution evidence, demonstrated, completed, 1 representative end-to-end run, operational, repeated success plus monitoring, recovery, ownership, and cost controls. This distinction matters greatly. A cron job exists in Hermes cron list, is merely configured, becomes demonstrated after 1 verified run and delivery. It becomes operational only after repeated success, visible failures, bounded retries, and recovery evidence. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting it to learn the fundamentals of that link. I thought it was going to create a skill based off of that link's specific workflow. This is actually really cool. I need to use this more often with my system. Anything new, I don't test right away. So this /learn, while it's relatively old at this point, it's still new to me. Interesting. I like that. Okay. This becomes more than a chatbot execution. And do you guys want me reading things line for line? Or do you just want me to stay silent and just scan it myself? I don't do it for me, I do it for you. I'd read in silent if I could. Yeah. I actually got an idea for my system through this. Okay. Let's go check in on this one here. It's always allow. Oh, it looks like we have things kicking off here. Operations daily brief. Sure. Business owner. Freelancer, business owner, one and the same right now. I did form a business around this brand. Started the year off as a freelancer, but now everything's being routed through Clearmud. As far as what services I provide, so that's changed as of recently. I love how Greg Eisenberg said this in one of his recent videos. I sell painkillers. It's not actually painkillers, but I sell solutions, right? I sell my time in the form of retainers to alleviate pain points in small to mid-sized companies. I also do a little bit of web design, depending on the deliverables, the monthly deliverables for the contract. To start the year, I was selling my time 1-for-1 and then project-based. I would do, whether it was a 1, 2, or 14-day project, whether I was trading my time 1-for-1, charging people hourly. Those two paths, though, they're not scalable. Monthly retainers, on the other hand, they are scalable because you base monthly retainers off of deliverables and not time. So the more efficient you get with those deliverables, the more you can scale up and the more retainers you can sign on, right? So that's the gist of what I do, but it's all focused around AI. It's all focused around AI. How can a business utilize AI to free up their employees' time to focus on what matters most, which is generally sending out more proposals depending on the industry, making more money. And yeah, that's the gist of it. I don't want to get too much into detail on that one. I'm happy to, but this isn't the episode for that, right? This is a Hermes Agent episode about automations. So it's not a Clearmud episode about how I structure my business and retainer offerings. Interested in ideas. I've been running with my multi-agent autonomous home lab system, custom built for a while now. So new ideas equals plus. Nice. Okay. I have an idea that we're going to deploy here in a moment after we fix these overnight crons. Honestly, this YouTube channel, I did not intend on this happening, right? But the amount of leads I get through this channel at this current level, at 10,000 subs, is insane. It's insane. It's so insane. I had to create agents to properly filter and help me validate leads before I get involved. I haven't taken one. Now, these are separate, right? There are people requesting me for my time, for custom builds, for retainers, versus brands and third-party agencies reaching out, wanting me to promote some type of tool or product or vaporware, right? I haven't accepted one of those sponsorships for good reason. I'm not here to just make money. More importantly, I don't want to jeopardize trust in the community, right? I'm not going to be the type of person who goes and takes a deal, promotes a product that I don't use daily. So I've gotten further along the line of validating one of those sponsors to where I get to a point where they have the budget for us, but I don't like the tool. It's not something I can genuinely stand behind. So I have a feeling we're only going to be taking on serious big sponsors of tools I use every day. And I'm not chasing them. I'm not reaching out to them. I'm all about slow organic growth here. I'm not trying to rush into something too soon, if that makes sense, right? Hey, Alex, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Hey, we appreciate the ninjas. Nothing but respect for ninjas lurking in the shadows. I myself am still a ninja on other channels. I'm naturally a shy person. So thanks for the comment. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for the feedback here. I do appreciate it. But yeah, as far as to go back on platform for clients, like, I'm not a LinkedIn tactics guy either. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing against that. But I'm all about organic word of mouth clients. They're the best type of clients. Rather than trying to go cold call, quote unquote, cold call, the old way of doing it. Rather than going to a retail business, right? You don't do that anymore. Now people do that on LinkedIn. They kind of hound people and say, hey, what is it your business does? Ooh, here's what I do. Here's what I can do to help. Like, yeah, sure, if you send out 1,000 of those, maybe 1% of them will be interested, but then you're still wasting time because you haven't fully validated them and taken them down that pipeline. So I'm just a different type of person. I'm not going to go try to chase business. I let business come to me, and I'm very patient. So that's kind of like my 2 cents on platforms to connect with clients. I say if you're passionate about something, start making content around it, and don't just, you see this a lot, don't just regurgitate what everybody else is doing. I did this early on with the channel. Was I was doing like these 3 steps to do this, this, and this, and I would never copy anybody, but I would be inspired. That content was shit. Like, let me be clear. Like, it wasn't meaningful to me, right? So I think it's build an audience, and it can be a small audience, but you'd be surprised the amount of leads that come in if you stick true to yourself and know what you're talking about, and be transparent about what you're talking about. Like, I'm not an AI expert. I say it at the end of every single one of my videos, but I am learning in public, and I'm, sharing my discoveries. I do plan on niching those videos down a little bit further in the near future, but for now, I'm still very much experimenting. It was always my goal to get to 100 long form videos before I truly niche down. And I just passed 100 long form videos recently, but I still haven't niched down yet. I've niched down in a way, like we primarily make content around AI agents and comparisons right now. Those are the fun ones for me, because I get to experiment with different models side by side, right? And then AI agents, I mean, I'm building out these solutions for small to mid-sized companies now. So it's very much in my wheelhouse, but I know I just got off topic with what we were working on here, but I do want to make this episode just about interacting with comments real time rather than waiting till the end and letting any questions slip through the cracks here. But hey, once again, thank you, Alex. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Thanks for joining me and spending time with me on your Sunday. Cheers. I do high volume data collection and mostly do freelance work through Upwork. How hard is it to change services? Because I want to transition from data engineer to AI infra. Any tips if you can? Honestly, I'm going to regurgitate what I just said. Whether or not you want to put your face out there or not, you can create a faceless YouTube channel. I think that's a great place to start. That is a very niche topic that if somebody's searching for that on YouTube, they will find it, right? Sure, you'll be giving away a lot of information for free, but a percentage of people who find your content would rather just pay you to do it for them, right? So I'm a big advocate for, like, start a YouTube channel. Just don't start it in the AI slop manner, right? Because there's a lot of YouTube channels being spun up that are just regurgitating the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, it's not contributing towards a better economy or a better ecosystem. Bring your unique touch to it, your unique experience, what you do on a daily basis. That's a great way to just organically start getting those leads. Now you could go the direction of creating a school community, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, I'm not against it. Let me rephrase that. I respect the hustle, but I am against paywalling content. I believe that all content should be free, especially in this space that we're in. Things evolve so quickly. For me to do this bootcamp behind a paywall, right? And then sell people access to it. Well, in a week, 2-3 weeks time, it may not be completely irrelevant, but it's so much has changed, right? So it's like, I would rather just drop all of this for free and slowly just build up that trust in the community, right? Because I'm not here to solely extract. That is not my goal. So my goal is to build a brand that. Let me stop myself there. This is about Bootcamp, so let's continue about Bootcamp. We can talk about Clearmud in another live stream. Okay, next actions. I mean, everything looks good. He's still typing up here, so let's wait for him to finish his response. We already read through this. Okay, this is great. Now let's build an automation around that workflow, around that skill. Yeah, of course, man. Happy to help. But you got to understand, like, we're all unique. What works for me isn't going to work for you. everyone knows their strengths and weaknesses better than anybody else, right? So I would say first, kind of, I don't mean to get all spiritual or philosophical here, but look inward first. Ask yourself, you know, what is it that you want to do? How do you want to present yourself, right? Do you want to create a YouTube channel? Maybe that's not your cup of tea. Maybe you want to go down the path of building a newsletter and selling through that newsletter, generating leads through LinkedIn, through newsletters, through free copyright driven content, verbiage, right? Through newsletters, essentially, not through video. Sorry if it wasn't clear. I was definitely up late, and just been a slow start this morning. Been a slow start this morning. All right. Also, I do not normally stream on a Sunday. It feels weird. Yesterday felt like Tuesday. Today does kind of feel like a Wednesday, in a way, but I know it's Sunday, you know? This is definitely super unique. I'm not mad at it, but I do normally keep my weekends for myself. So hope you guys have been enjoying this special boot camp running from Friday to Monday. Hey, I really appreciate this, Kaval. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. Let's open up that tab. Now, per Corey's comment, I want to say episode 1. Now, maybe I misinterpreted this comment, so let me know, Corey, once you watch. I don't think you're live anymore, but once you watch this recording, let me know if I got this right. But I believe you want to build a team that can build a SaaS product and maintain it autonomously. I'm going to one up that. I think what we should do is build a SaaS factory, and have it operate in this way. First, 2 a.m., the last 30 days skill gets spun up by a cron, by a research head, right? Or subagent for that matter. Then from there, I should probably pull up a whiteboard, huh? I feel like that would be more visually appealing. But let me finish my train of thought. Then from there, it discovers a common pain point. It then analyzes that pain point, turns it into a product that could be sold online, runs through a certain set of, or I guess a certain skill with a certain preset number of variables depending on what it needs to build, right? Obviously it wants to build an MVP, but it goes through that process of then planning that product, planning who it's for, what pain point it solves. And then from there it goes to engineering, and engineering then builds the thing. And then in the morning, what you get is a morning brief with a pain point discovered, a product built. Now, obviously end to end, it wouldn't work. It's more of a prototype. And then you get to preview that prototype in the morning. Would you guys want to see me build something like that? I think that would be a fun build, and we could build that out live. I feel like that's going to be the next automation I work on here. Because I'm a very Dexter's Laboratory type of guy. I like experimenting myself, but I also like the idea of my agents experimenting for me, and then I can just review what they discovered, what they built, whether or not I want to proceed with that SaaS product idea, you know? You know what's funny? In Discord yesterday, I let everybody know that, one of 4, for anybody who didn't know, one of 4 usage limit, like usage reset options, were set to expire at the end of the day yesterday. I didn't realize it was based off of Eastern time zones. I started burning through tokens last night, and around 10:30, 10:40 p.m. Pacific, I went to reset it because I was like, okay, this is a good point to reset it in about an hour and 15 minutes before the end of the day. And sure enough, it had already disappeared because they took it off of my list at 9 p.m. because I'm guessing it was based off of Eastern Standard Time, which is weird. I would have thought it would have been Pacific, with them being a West Coast company. So I burned through quite a bit of usage and I didn't get to use that reset that expired. I was bummed about that. I was really bummed about that. It shouldn't limit productivity this week, but I mean, I'll just use one of the other resets if I get close to 0% on the week. But that backfired. It backfired real quick. Got to pay attention to that next time. Yeah, you want to see what I was just talking about? Great, great, awesome. How we looking on coffee? Do I have to make more? I know this is going to be a long one. Maybe not. Maybe just some ice cubes. Yeah, since these are working real quick, Yoda's still typing up here. So this is the fun part of the build where, like, if you create this multi-agent team and you create separate bot tokens for them, you can then start building with each individual department head. Me personally, I like communicating with as little people as possible, or here I am saying agents or people, as little agents as possible. So I generally have one master orchestrator, right? One master lead who then delegates and updates the rest of the department heads, which is how we've set things up here. So we're going to wait for him to finish. I could always go start talking to him in a Discord session and it will add on to these three or these two that we're doing here. Ooh, lovely. Now, here's the thing. I just said, let's build an automation around it. I thought this was going to open up a dialogue. Interesting. But it went ahead and built something by itself with no input. Very interesting. And it's just a system-wide weekly audit, it looks like. Okay, okay. I'll be honest, I thought we were going to talk about what to build rather than you just doing the thing. I'm not mad. Let's go round two, but talk about it first. All right, looks like Yoda's done on the right as well. Make this a little bit larger. Man, this is a big brief. Sheesh. I almost don't like it. I feel like this is too long. But this is a great morning health check. If this is your cup of tea, maybe you don't configure something like this that we configured yesterday. Ooh, I wonder, is our resources okay? Total used. We might have to give it more memory. Okay, okay. Okay. Man, we've already used 17% of our root disk. Kind of shocked that we've already used, what, 23 gigs? Interesting. Oh, there's some swap there. No, it's memory. Interesting. This would explain, I mean, only 1 gig available. If we run too many tasks in parallel, agents will seize up. Kanban workers will freeze. Okay, I would want to improve how this is delivered. Maybe color code each section. But overall, I mean, it did a good job here. Okay, next up, weekly Hermes Autonomy Maturity Audit. Demonstrated maturity reaches level 10, but operational autonomy is not yet earned. Failure, recovery, delivery, evidence remain incomplete. Tool using execution, almost 800 tool calls and 6 completed Kanban tasks. Durable identity. Okay. 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 Okay, thank you. So moving forward, all of these crons should kick off and hit my inbox in the morning. Please confirm the time frames. Show me a table of delivery times for each of our automations every morning, so that when I configure some more today, I know where to place them so we stagger them properly. All right, while that prompts, let me take a quick bio break. We'll get back and we'll build out that autonomous SaaS builder workflow. All right, we are back. Let me change this. All right, I went and got some ice cubes for this coffee because I've been drinking hot coffee long enough today. And it's almost midday, so time to make it iced coffee. Yeah, this is a very good observation, Greg, and something I want to fix really quickly. So let's just review Yoda's response here, and then we'll fix that as well. And we'll be able to test, see how it looks tomorrow. All right. All department jobs now write locally. Picked up a Yoda delivery relay every 10 minutes, which sends them to Telegram home, Discord Yoda. Will delivery failed. Before the relay repair, their future reports use the new path. All right, so 6 a.m. stand up, 6:45 Kanban reconciliation. So it's operations daily, 7 a.m. Hermes Health and Repository. Morning brief, 7:20 weekly autonomy maturity audit. That's on Monday, okay. Daily at 7:30, so nice 30-minute gap there. Operations brief, engineering pass 30 minutes later. So there are these back-to-backs, but that's only on Monday. So we'll be able to test that tomorrow. Wednesday, marketing weekly portfolio review, usually 10:10. Okay. Later day automations, 12, midday check, weekly readiness review. What's that? 3 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock. I'm curious, any other military timers in here? I like the 24-hour clock timer. I've become accustomed to it after now living in Europe part-time. It's simple. You just subtract 2 from the first number. And in the unique cases where you can't, it's just, you're just subtracting 12 from the number, right? That's essentially the rule of thumb to get the standard, 1 through 12 time. But for me, it's always just been remove 2 from this second digit and you get your number. That's just how my brain works. Monday, 8 a.m. collision. Yeah. Yeah, I think one general rule of thumb is we should always be staggering. Always be staggering. Even if it only happens 1 day a week, always be staggering. You know how that sales term, always be closing? I'm sure there's countless terms. We might have to ABS. It's like we're saying automatic brakes in system. Now, keep in mind, if you have a beefy system, you don't have to worry about staggering as much, right? If you have a 32 core, 128 gig hardware dedicated to your Hermes Agent system, this is not a concern of yours. But this is good practice to make sure that you're not stressing the system and pulling too much resources at the same time when you're conscious of how much RAM and cores you have allocated to your system or on your system for that matter. So keep that in mind. This isn't for everybody. This is for the resource conscious individuals, which a majority of us fall into, right? Because we're using repurposed machines, or maybe the machines it's a VM and we have other things running. It's our daily driver. Like in this case, I only gave this VM 4 cores and 4 gigs of memory. So I'm being conscious of that. I can give it more if I need to. But I wanted to kind of show off the possibilities with as little resources as possible. And this is how you best accomplish that, is you stagger these automations as best as possible. How to reset limits. Yeah, let me pull up the Codex app. Also, by the way, for anybody curious, that meter, that that I built out, I'm combining it all into one. I built it out 3 different times. I first built it out for Claude, then I built it out for Grok, and then I built it out for GPT. And now I'm combining them all into one, to where you can attach multiple tiles on the same browser preview, so you can display whatever you want to display. But look, I ran into I need to manually compress all those folders. I don't like giving Codex full disk access. Listen, I'm not going to do it on my daily driver. Once I buy a new daily driver and repurpose this M1 Max, yes, this M1 Max is going to have OpenClaw, Hermes, Codex, full disk access, no limitations whatsoever. Of course, I'll give them their own credit card with a budget of maybe $100 a month. You know, that way I'm not surprised, and I can budget it through my banking app, right? So I do plan on doing that at some point. But to reset your limits, you just, in the Codex app, this is the easiest way. You just click this bottom left hand, your name, right? And you go to usages, usage remaining, and you see your usage on the week. Resets remaining, you just click the resets remaining, and then you drop this down here. And then as you can see, this one expires on the 17th. So I'm not worried about this, right? And 66% left. If I get close to it, I'll just use this reset, right? And this will reset my week, assuming I get there before the 17th, which is another 5 days. But then these expire. So keep in mind though, this is this is Eastern time, because last night, Pacific time at 10:30, that first one I had disappeared. I couldn't use it. So kind of misleading, kind of a bummer. I wish they configured it in a way where it was smart enough to detect your system time. But then, of course, I'm sure, yeah, never mind. I'll stop there. Excuse me. All right, let's continue though. Always stagger is now a standing scheduling rule. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, great. One thing I want to do also is I'm noticing some of those briefs, they're just very context heavy, very, what's the term? Verbose in their brief, in your outputs. And we have somebody in the audience here, Greg, shout out Greg. Brief me as if I'm the busy executive decision maker who trusts the agent tech to do your due diligence. So summarize things as briefly as possible. It shouldn't be an essay, it should be a brief, hence the name brief. Yeah, right. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. We'll make sure we include this master prompt on the resources after the fact. But I'm preparing a rather detailed prompt for this kind of SaaS factory, so to speak, that we'll be creating here. Now, it's not going to be perfect out of the gate. Let me be very clear about that, but it's very detailed. And I'm pulling it from my existing system that builds me micro-SaaS products overnight. So I've already done a lot of the work and the troubleshooting into getting it to a point where I really love it. Wait, is my mic on? Yeah, we're good. I rarely do it, but sometimes I'll forget to re-enable the mic when I get back. Actually very curious. Let me tunnel into my Hermes system really quickly. Master prompt almost ready. Just give us 1 second. Let's also finish going through this. I know we kind of squirreled a little bit. What did we tell them? Weren't we in the middle of something? I guess it timed out. Wasn't I supposed to select something here and it timed out as I walked away? Let's prompt that one more time here. And let's see. So this is my Hermes agent system. I only have 32 gigs applied to that system, but we're only using about 9 or 10. So this is going to be great to keep checking on my host PC here. You can also check out my, let's hit up a new tab. You know what? For that, maybe I'll spin up Ghosty. Is Ghosty not on my bar anymore? No, I've been using CMux so much. It's insane. All right, so yeah, you know what? I don't feel like doing that. I want to implement this SaaS factory. I think that's the more exciting one. So I'm just preparing that master prompt off screen. Just give me 1 second. And obviously I'll make sure we can share this as well. All right. Bam. H. Let me turn that into like a yellowish. There we go. And we're going to start a new chat there as well. All right, there we go. So there's my resources for both of my daily drivers. My OpenClaw's on the bottom, Hermes is on the top. I gave them identical resources essentially. So 32 gigs to Hermes, 32 to OpenClaw. They both have 16 cores to work with. And it's been smooth sailing. It's really awesome. So, but I love how I have that B top through the terminal here. That's awesome. Such a great little plugin. Shout out to the community for pointing that out to me. I love that. All right, man, this is a big prompt that Neo gave me. I'm giving you guys a prompt straight off my system that we're repurposing for the demo. All right, keep in mind, Neo, that this is going to go on to another system. So any mention of our agents, it needs to, right? Like we don't label our agents for the new system. The new system may have different named agents for the same task. So we want to be mindful of that. And then please give it to me in a markdown file that I can download and share with the audience, please. All right. And I'll give you guys a sneak peek of his response. But it's a big one because I've done a lot of work on mine. But we're going to call this Sandbox SaaS or SaaS Factory. It's kind of what I gave it. Nice big master prompt. It didn't all stick in this copy paste environment, right? It had this weird bug. You know what's funny is with my Hermes Agent system, I don't think I've enabled rich text delivery for Telegram yet. I thought it was a default thing, so I never enabled it manually. I only discovered it hosting this bootcamp that you have to enable it manually. It's hilarious. But as you can see, there's a lot here. So I just told him, keep in mind, because there's mentions of our multi-agent team here, right? To be mindful that, hey, you know, whoever copy paste this is not going to have the same named agents. So let's wait for that master prompt. Yeah, I think a big thing is like, listen, OpenClaw has improved drastically, but nobody's talking about it because it doesn't get them attention if they, you know, if they talk about something that quote unquote is outdated, right? But listen, OpenClaw is just as good as Hermes. Fight me. I don't agree with this Hermes only movement. I think there's room for both. Like, I don't just chase the next new shiny toy and then drop everything I was just promoting, like, and standing behind. No. It's like that old saying, the boy who cried wolf. You keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. You keep chasing every new thing. I mean, at some point you're going to lose credibility, right? So like, listen, unless I was truly against OpenClaw, I would be vocal about it. But listen, OpenClaw has improved its gateway reliability. They have a lot of the similar functions with the workboard, aka Kanban on Hermes. I mean, listen, like I use both daily. I honestly rely more on OpenClaw than I do Hermes because I'm still building out my Hermes agent team and slowly giving it more responsibilities. But like, I don't just chase the hype. Yes, I will test all these new tools, and I'm not like trying to shit on Hermes agent or anything like that. Like, listen, we're hosting this bootcamp. I use it every day. But when it comes to the OpenClaw and Hermes agent debate, like take a step back and test both before you judge, you know? Don't just follow creators and influencers blindly who promote one thing one day and then another thing the next day, you know? I don't trust them personally. All right. Let's just go check in on Neo. Neo is prepping a response, so we are patiently waiting. All right, shout out Greg. New reporting standard is active. All right, let's test them now. While we're waiting for Neo's response here. I mean, this is just get your popcorn ready and pull up a chair. You know what I mean? Get your popcorn ready and pull up a chair. It's hilarious. I guess we'll leave this on screen. Oh, he was just typing a second ago. Why did he stop typing? What's going on there, huh? Interesting. Let's go into Clearmud Ops. I guess he stops typing when he's thinking or something else is processing. That's weird. Usually he's just consistently typing. I'm like keeping an eye on resources. Need to finish my infra day today, because there's definitely some things I can do to optimize. All right, I'll keep him off screen. Let's go check our bootcamp curriculum. Let's make sure we're covering everything. So yeah, a lot of these are let's actually pull that up in this browser. We already played with that. This is a great workflow capture sheet. You know, another recommendation I have when you're capturing workflows, and this is what I tell all my clients, record your screen, have a nice mic, right? You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a mic, just have a decent mic that picks up your audio. Record the entire process and record the workflow and talk your way through the workflow. It's very helpful for your agent when you're handing off that video file to an agent and say, hey, I want to create a skill off of this workflow. I recorded my screen and I verbally explained all the steps I was taking, what I was clicking, where I was going. That's the easiest way to capture your workflow, to where you don't have to manually go in and fill out a sheet. Now, if you're the type of person that doesn't mind doing that, then by all means, copy the sheet and do that. However, I think the most organic and natural way of capturing a workflow is just to do the workflow, right? Just record yourself doing the workflow and talking your way through the steps. That is one of the most effective ways to build a workflow and skill within Hermes. Yeah. Skill template as well is up here. Workflow to skill conversion. I mean, listen, all three of these can be done by your agent if you just record your screen and talk your way through the workflow, through the repeatable task that you're doing. Highly recommend it. Why did my agent put this here though? I guess I get it. They're just examples. Okay. And it's based off a lot of the stuff we talk about. Oh yeah, shout out. I believe Tracy asked this. Tracy asked HVAC and Airbnb hosts specifically. So our agents put them in here as examples. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, this is just a great rule of thumb for each workflow. Decide skill, repeatable instructions the agent should follow on demand. Cron, repeated scheduled work. So it's more so the frequency that we set, because the cron is supposed to just reference that skill. Now, sometimes more than one cron can reference the same skill, but I highly recommend, whenever possible, create one skill per cron. That's the move for that consistent output, right? Choose one real artifact you need this week, define its owner, trigger expectations. Okay. We're actually going to be doing this right now, so that's awesome. But yeah, if anybody's curious, this episode kit is available. It will be updated by my agents. I realized that I don't think I updated yesterday. I did update yesterday's. I'll be updating the entire bootcamp curriculum. My agents, both my executive assistants on Hermes as well as OpenClaw, are going to be analyzing the transcript from every single video and updating this landing page. It will always be free. Eventually, it'll go into resources here into the bootcamps tab. As you can see, our first bootcamp is archived, but all the data is here. We're going to do the same thing with the second bootcamp and all future bootcamps as well. So, all right. Let's go back to our dashboard here. Ooh, look at this test. Shout out, Greg. We fixed it real time. I love it. Look at how condensed this is. Freaking love it. All right, good stuff, man. All right, here we go. Sandbox SaaS master prompt. I think I'm going to make a video prop out of this, to be honest. Let me show in Finder. Here we go. So real time. I'm going to go chat with my executive assistants here. All right. Good stuff. I'll make the prop later. I won't waste your time making it now, but let's go ahead and open up Obsidian just so we can read through it really quickly. Let's pull that off. I should create a demo vault. That's one thing I haven't done. Drag that in there. All right. Let's go check out this master prompt, shall we? Audience use copy the complete prompt below into another Hermes agent system. It does not assume that the receiving system uses any particular agent names. It discovers installed profiles and maps work by capability. You're the coordinating operator for a new private system called Sandbox SaaS. Build the complete working system now. Treat this as an implementation task, not a planning exercise. Use your tools, inspect your actual Hermes environment, create the repository, applications, configure real-time automation where supported, exercise the implementation, and continue until the local gallery, product prototypes, task pipeline, recovery path, and HTTP endpoints have been verified. Do not stop after creating a plan, mockup, placeholder, or single command. So product identity, right? Just what it's going to be named. It's a private, local first, micro-SaaS research and prototype factory powered by Hermes Agent. I wonder if we should change the whole micro-SaaS. I like going with micro-SaaSes. They're easier to build prototypes for, right? Because they're not as in-depth. They usually cover a specific pain point, So every night, a serialized agent workflow researches recent source-backed market pain, scores and selects one defensible. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. I hate having to keep redoing that. All right. Scores and selects one defensible micro-SaaS opportunity, builds a working local prototype, tests it independently, publishes it into a persistent private gallery, produces a concise operator brief. The purpose is not to launch a public SaaS every night. The purpose is to create a durable private catalog of honest product experiments that can later be tested, approved, reworked, killed, archived, or promoted into a separate production workflow. An honest no-go or postmortem is better than a fabricated opportunity. Portability and agent discovery. This prompt is designed for a Hermes installation whose agents may have completely different names from the system that inspired it. Do not assume that profiles called researcher, architect, QA, publisher, operator, or any other example name exist. Before creating tasks, load the current Hermes agent documentation, load the Hermes and Kanban skills available on this installation, discover the real installed profiles using the supported Hermes profile listing command, inspect the capabilities and available skills of those profiles, map real profiles to these capability roles, research, product build, independent QA, orchestration, and publication. Identify at least one fallback profile for research and one fallback profile for QA. Verify every selected assignee actually exists before creating Kanban tasks. Record the capability mapping in runtime profile map.json. Bam, bam. Safety net and operating boundaries. Sandbox SaaS is a private and local only. Do not deploy it publicly. Do not expose it to customers. Do not use real customer data. Do not spend money or activate paid services. Do not, I mean, this could be a great rule of thumb for so many. This is just a great set of guardrails, to be honest with you guys. Do not fabricate sources, traction, testimonials, customers, revenue, or integrations. Local research, building QA, rebuilding, staging, and serving require no human approval. Human approval is only required for public release, production deployment, customer-facing exposure, credential access, financial spend, external comms, irreversible data changes. Never print credentials, tokens, passwords, private keys, or connection strings. Replace it with a discovered secret with redacted. Replace any discovered secret with redacted. Every product attempt remains in the catalog. New results are additive and must not replace historical products. A successful task graph is not a successful nightly run. Success requires observable publication and HTTP verification. Never silently miss a night. Repository structure. So we do have some samples that we'll start off with here. And listen, I feel like reading through this line for line is going to take a long time. So let's just go through it just briefly here. So we have kind of like a hero structure here, header, hero, product gallery, right? This is for our local web server that we're going to be able to navigate and select the overnight builds from. So it can be a part of your morning brief kind of routine, if you will. Product detail view, product identity standard. Each prototype must include a landing page, one real core interaction, seeded fictional demo data, local persistence, responsive behavior, an explicit local demo label, an explicit real theater boundary, reset demo data, no dead controls. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, as you can see, this is insanely detailed. I have spent a lot of days, probably a couple of weeks fine-tuning this slowly but surely. And we're just going to give it out for free. So that's what we do around here. Now, I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Bam, bam, bam. Now, looks like he's still working. Things are better. Let's just start prompting him here, shall we? We're going to paste that in there. And we're going to let him get to work. And I need to do one thing really quickly. So just give me 30 seconds to a minute. All right, we are back. Hey, yeah. Hey, glad you like it. So my executive assistant on my main daily driver for Hermes, at least for Clearmud, generated that. And yes, he is now based on 5.6 Sol. I believe he's set to high reasoning, if I'm not mistaken, or high thinking level. Yeah. But that is based off of something that I have working for me. I call it something else, but the gist of it, the foundation of it is based off of that. So I had him prep a master prompt to recreate that in this other Hermes agent system that we can also hand out to you as well. It's a fun one, right? So we're not dumbing it down by any means. I mean, I just had him create a master prompt. We gave it a different name. Obviously, I'm not going to name it. I call mine Playground. Yeah, it's a big one. We're burning through tokens. We are token maxing right now, as they say, as the kids say. Excuse me, had to mute my mic there for a sec. Need a prop, an idea to muddy my agent on OpenClaw. Give me a sec. And let me just paste that into Muddy so he has a copy of it. So Muddy's going to get started on that video prop, as well as a new strategy and idea that just came to mind that I want to start pursuing. All right. All right. My focus is back on chat. Forgive me. Amazing what a detailed master prompt will give you, huh? Already building it out. Love to see it. So we just got to wait on the report on how it's going to be configured and set up and what port it's on locally. And this will be a fun one. Curious to see how it looks too. Yeah, for anybody curious, what I'm doing off screen is, you know, if you're unaware, I don't do it for every video, but we have these video props in resources that I'll sometimes, if I think the video I'm making requires a video prop that people can come and copy paste things, right? And I've done this, I haven't done this consistently, only when needed. I want to start turning, anytime I create a video prop that's copy paste worthy, converting this into an X article and then posting that on X as well. So I'm creating that first rule, we're creating the structure, and then we're going to create the automation to where it doesn't post. Muddy's not going to go in and post on my behalf. He's going to go stage the article, ping me when it's staged, and then I put my finishing touches on it. So I'm essentially creating that off air, off screen right now. And since that's OpenClaw, listen, this is a Hermes Agent Boot Camp, so I'm keeping that off screen. But we do have some Hermes Agent related. This is from a video where I got Hermes and OpenClaw talking to each other step by step, some operational prompts for each one. So just some useful resources here. Listen, as I mentioned, I don't make one for every video, only when I feel like it's required and there's anything copy paste worthy, then I'll make that video prop for whatever video we're creating. So let's go back to Hermes Agent. Man, no soccer today, huh? Let's see. When are the next games? 14th and 15th. Got it. Semifinals. Okay. Tuesday and Wednesday. Nice, nice, nice. Article, delete article, bam. Oh, look at this. So Muddy's telling me that he thinks I should create a video just for Sandbox SaaS. That is kind of cool. The narrative and demo. I'm not mad at it. Video prop, obviously, what we always do, and then a native X article, what it is. So it's like we're not just giving the raw prompt. Instead, we're turning the raw prompt into an article, which then, in theory, your agent can just read off of the article. But I guess at the end, full master prompt CTA. Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll tackle all that today on infra, on our infra time block. Stay tuned. We'll be back at it in about 4 hours. All right. Good stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Like, bruh. Why? I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. Any other Norway fans in here? Who else got heartbroken? I'm very curious. Oh, wow. I scrolled all the way up. That's why I wasn't doing anything. Let's let it just do its thing down here. It's my bad. That was a boring screen to watch, wasn't it? I'm curious what port it's going to deploy it on. I kind of want to sneak a peek on 5200. No. I'm sure it might just select its own. See it. Is it starting to build on 3000? No. All right. We'll just be patient and wait. Any chance you might do a separate video on your marketing team at some point? The one that processes sponsorship requests and stuff like that. Yes, but that's OpenClaw. I guess it could be applied to Hermes Agent as well, but that's OpenClaw handles that for me. So I could. I would have to obviously be, I can't just copy paste the skills themselves, but the foundation of how everything works, I can definitely turn into a prop and a resource and make a video around it for sure. But obviously I'm not going to give away sensitive data. But we can structure in a way where it's shareable for sure. These still feel very long. I guess not, right? They are actually very small. Yeah, so they are shorter, but you're not utilizing rich text features. They just look like a wall of text. So I want you to use the resources available to make it more digestible. Even though it's a smaller paragraph now, there's ways to break up these sections, whether you use quote blocks, tables when applicable. I don't know the full list of capabilities, but that should be enough for you to improve the output on those briefs. Please and thank you. Oh no! Did I really just elapse that? Or interrupt that? Yeah, to be clear, I didn't want you to interrupt that last task. Please continue. Just add this to your list after the fact. Yeah, that's technically the same session, isn't it? Oh, wait a second. I started a separate session here. It should be different. I mean, it's running. Look, it actually did go. No, it's still working. It's still working. This must have still been thinking, though, from this past prompt then. That's weird. Because this was uninterrupted, because that's a completely separate ID. So let's go. I'm very curious. What's this look like? 5200. Well, nothing loaded yet. Yo, what's up, Duval? How we doing today? Right on, Caval. Well, hey, thanks for sticking through so late at night for you. Hope you have a good evening and a good start to the week. We'll catch you back here tomorrow for episode 4. Cheers. Did the gateway just restart or something? What's going on there? Yeah. Slight little hiccup. Let's go check the VM. Ooh, yep. Okay. So device memory nearly full. All right, we did run into an issue. All right. So here's what I'm going to do real quick. We need to give it some more memory, but we got to force quit everything. So I'm just going to force shut down, assign some more memory. I was really trying to get away with 4 gigs, but you know. Where's mouse? Why did it get stuck up there? Yo, what's up, Ori? How we doing today? Cheers. We'll bump this up to a safe 8. All right. Should be more than enough to finish the boot camp. All right. Let's see. Does he continue where he left off? Let's see if he recovered himself. Let's go to session. Well, let's just try to reload chat. I don't think it's going to reload that session. Yeah, it's a fresh session. So let's go to... Yeah, nice. Let's go play this one. That's a bummer. I mean, it would have been loopback, right? I guess just local host. Yeah, nothing's running there. Hey, right on. Squirrel out. Appreciate you, Sharma. Hope you have a good evening. We'll catch you tomorrow. Let's also make sure we're moving along here. Yeah, these are mainly just templates. I mean, we've covered almost everything. So now it's just a matter of finishing this Sandbox SaaS factory. And then forgive me, weren't we going to build another automation, or was that it? Let's go check the comments. I got to use this darn sticky note I have next to me to write things down in real time. I forgot to do that this stream. All right. So this is also something like if it delegates and you don't want to go check the Kanban board, I'm just like, cool, give me status updates every 5 minutes until it's ready to review in this chat while we're working out of a separate session here. Set it is. All right. And now this is a fun waiting game. I'm trying to remember, was there anything else we needed to go over today, or are we just building automations real time? And who wants that master prompt for Sandbox SaaS ahead of time? If you do, join the Discord. I'll post it in Discord before we create those articles. Forgive me. Yeah, just go to clearmud.link. Second link down. We just opened it up. Previously, it was just invite only. If you were on live streams, I would just hand out invite links on the live streams. But now we did open it up for public. So there's no, wall whatsoever. But just clearmud.link. Second link down. That'll get you in there. Yeah, we're slowly, we're slowly improving, slowly adding on to what we're doing here. I'm a one-man show, so and I'm going to stay that way for as long as humanly possible. But between this channel, all the side hustles I was doing earlier on in the year, and then now this new client on retainer, I'm focusing a lot of my time between Clearmud and then this new retainer offering before I start to scale that offering. I have a second one coming on board, fingers crossed, by September. So I'll have two of those in motion. And yeah, listen, I'm just taking it 1 week at a time, not rushing into anything. So we're slowly building out, slowly opening things up, slowly creating different kind of verticals within the brand. Let's go back down to this one and let's wait patiently here. Let me, I see a text from my mother, and the older I get, the less I like to wait to call them back. So I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Forgive me there. A lot of waiting here on this live stream, But let's also set up some other automations in parallel here. We're going to operate out of Telegram. All right, so I want to do one specific automation here where overnight our research department head will spin up multiple subagents. The first one scrapes data using the last 30 days. The second one scrapes data from X. The third one scrapes data from LinkedIn. Let's first set up the foundation of kind of this mechanism of obviously last 30 days skills work, but how are we going to scrape X and LinkedIn data? Is the best move for me to leave a browser open on the VM, as I don't want to have to pay API costs. Additionally, LinkedIn does not allow you to scrape with bots, so we will have to do it in some type of interactive fashion, right? I want to pick your brain on that, and then I'd like to see an output based off of a specific topic, but I think we should fine-tune how those 3 subagents will function and actually properly do the job before I define the output. Right, so this is me not like telling it specifically what I want to see. Hold on. Why did that? Was he really working in the background? That's weird. Whatever. Let's go check the Kanban here. I mean, it all looks done. Now I'm very curious. Is this going to load yet? Hey, it is. I don't. Interesting front end design decision. Okay. Okay, look at these little cards. This local prototype preview isn't working. Let's go to return relay. So it scrolls us down. I do not. This requires a lot of work. Interesting. Very interesting. It's kind of half there. I would kind of want this to be displayed a little bit differently, but this is also where you go in and you kind of vibe how you want it to look. So I personally love this ShadeCN based library, watermelon.ui or ui.watermelon.sh. I love their components. Love their components. So I would want to bake that into the workflow. It's kind of half working. Okay. Not happy with the design, but that's a part of the process. Okay, independent QA is still running, so we'll see what happens. Kind of funny what the definition of one-shot success is these days versus what it was 6 months. Yeah, I agree. Back in the day, that would have been truly amazing. I know, right? For what it's already done an amazing job, but I am now spoiled because I've built a lot of different variations of things like this, and I may not be happy with the output, but overall, it's impressive that it's able to do it in such a short amount of time, for sure. I agree with you. Now, I want to figure out, like, where is it making its front-end design decisions? I do not like them, so I want to improve them. And I think this is another automation we should focus on as well right now, or rather skill plus cron is, or rather just skill. Let's go to Anthropic. Front end. There it is. I know I have history of visiting it. So we're going to reference that, and we're going to create a front-end design skill with a specific color palette, typography, and components, and just front-end decisions that we want made with everything we generate within Sandbox SaaS. Oh, it looks like he's still working there. Gallery, I loaded popular web designs specifically to linear reference, then adapted it rather than copying it. Graphite foundations and every product see prototype. Okay. Okay. Want to use Ubuntu themed colors and fonts. Let's create our own front end. Let me vibe this prompt. Let's create our own front end design skill that utilizes Ubuntu Mono. I want to use the Ubuntu Orange in both light and dark mode. I want everything we build to have an optimized light and dark mode. By default, it should toggle based off of system time. So if somebody's viewing, so if the end user is viewing any particular part of what we build during day hours, right? They get light mode versus dark mode. I want to make sure we utilize shadecn libraries, as well as the ui.watermelon.sh. Yeah, ui.watermelon.sh catalog of just components, animated components, blocks. There's even some dashboards there, some templates. I really love everything about that site and all the components they use. So that should be a standard for everything we design. Let me know if you have any questions. I might be missing something to add on to this new skill. Let's label this skill Sandbox SaaS front-end design. Right, so this is me kind of vibing my way through a front-end design skill. I know the color, I know the color theme that I want to prioritize around. I know the font that I wanted ahead of time. Alternatively, if you don't know these things, ask your agent to pick one for you, or go browse Google Fonts, or go browse just images.google.com and look at different color palettes. You can also go study color theory to figure out which colors pair well together. You can also instruct your agent to do that as well. But let me show you how I like to do it. I generally give it a foundation, which is always that Anthropic front-end design skill base. And then I add on personal, just things that I like personally, right? Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I honestly, I left it out for two reasons. One, I thought my master prompt included it. I didn't read it line for line though. I thought that since it was pulled off of a system that I created, I thought it would include those details, but it did not. And then two, you know, blessing in disguise, we get to now go through the process of creating our own front-end design skill for Sandbox SaaS. And I can show you what goes in, what my normal process of creating a new front-end design, depending on what it's for, right? Skill itself, right? So it led us into this fun part of the demo and bootcamp episode where you get to just watch me build a front-end design skill real time and how I do it. Nice, nice. See, this is what it's all about. This is what the bootcamp it's all about. It's not about you just copying what I'm copying. Sure, copy what I'm copying. I don't care. I'm doing this for you. But it's these ideas that you get for you watching and learning. And you're like, ooh, I'd love to do this, but for this. That's where the gold is out of these boot camps. And that was my hope, that people start getting their own ideas. But yes, of course, I'll share it early. Yeah. Are you referencing the, you must be watching a little bit back in the video. I'm guessing you want the master prompt for Sandbox SaaS. Hey, let's go. I can't wait for you too. I'm excited for you as well. But yeah, like if there's one thing you can pick up from this entire boot camp, it's like, yes, watch this to learn, but watch this and ask yourself, how can I apply what he's building on this video, but how can I tweak it for me? That's where the gold lies. Like, I don't know your pain points. I don't know your workflows. I don't know your industry in most all cases. You know them better. You know what you want to get out of your system better than anybody else. So you start to get these little ideas as you go through these episodes. So yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay. He's doing its thing. Wish there was a way for me to preview these shell windows here. Which acquisition policy should govern the first pilot? Conservative, public web. Let's go balanced. My agents are going to have a field day timestamping this episode because we're going back and forth between automations. It's UI.watermelon.sh. I got to give credit where it's due. I discovered this through a Razmike video. But it's all based off of Shade CN, right? So Shade CN Blocks, I think, is the main website for him. It used to be something else, I believe. Yeah, it used to be something else. These are also great too. Like, these are like standard for me for any front end design skill. Anything I'm building, it's always based off of Shade CN plus that UI watermelon.sh because I just love. I love those components, and the color got me. I'm a big green person. I mean, I like a lot of green, or a lot of different colors, but that lime green, there's something about it. My system is going to be micro active education components. So I'm really thinking how I can take this idea of micro-SaaS apps as individual components. Nice. See right there. And one thing you can always do is once you get your system up and running and I'm realizing we also, Hermes Agent operates a little bit differently from OpenClaw from the perspective of you don't need to feed it a whole bunch of context, but it is helpful. So, whether you create a second brain or not, maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow in episode 4, but just brain dumping, like what is its purpose? In addition to the initial foundation you do, what is your purpose? What do I want to build here? What is my focus with this system? And just raw voice to text thoughts or a voice memo in Telegram if you have your Telegram set up, and just talk, let your agent absorb all of that information. And then, in this particular case for you, Corey, is like, you can say, hey, analyze this master prompt and cross-reference it into ways that we can apply it based off of the context I've given you. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'd like to do. What are your thoughts? Right? So it'll take that master prompt. It'll know everything about the context of what you want to accomplish, and then weave it all together and give you some recommendations. That's a little hack right there. Yes, it burns through tokens. I know Mr. Baker's got the day off today, so he's not here to say read the docs, but that is my preferred way of taking that approach there. Is OpenAI ChatGPT 5.1 not working or hiding in usage? Everything's working for me. I have no issues on that front. Does it need me to log into X over here? Let me just take that off screen while I log in. Oh. The VM's Firefox. Okay, yeah, I'm already doing that. Great. Why is that's weird. Keyboard types in the terminal, but when I go to the web browser, well, it types there. It's having some weird bug where it just wasn't letting me type in a field here. Yeah, it's still doing it. What the hell's going on here? I can type J? There's the weirdest bug going on right now. Like, I'm able to type up here, right? But when I come down here to type, like, what is going on? You see it? Nothing. I can type J. What could be causing this? I'm gonna try typing in Twitter. Yeah, what is going on? I can type Z, J. That is weird. And I can type in the terminal just fine. All right, now it's working. Weird. Let me just log in really quickly. All right. This might be a little cheesy, but in my own mission control for my agent, I built a note hold. It's just a note text thing. If I drop a URL in it, it will scrape that out and make it clickable. Nice. That's not cheesy at all. Love it. Hey, I love it. See, this is what it's all about, right? This is what it's all about. Did the Xcode MCP from Codex yesterday. Pretty cool. I'll need to do some more playing around with it. Nice. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Next up is, before I make any videos around it, I want to start creating a few useful Mac OS apps that I want to see and use. And then depending on how that goes, maybe I turn those into a video. But then maybe that's going to unlock me starting to record more videos on A to Z, create your own desktop app, right? Man, I had to dig for gold there. I was itching. Nice, nice. Hey, how we doing today? Welcome back, man. Happy Sunday. How you doing? I mean, it's great for small tweaks too. It's just so cheap that it doesn't even matter, through the subscription at least, that it doesn't even matter. You don't have to use Terra or Sol, or I mean Terra or Luna. Just use Sol. Like, I've had no issues with costs, so I'm happy with it. Very happy with it. Look, it's already starting to change the colors. Interesting. I mean, it's still going through some design decisions for sure. Starting to look better. I feel like that should be pop-up. That shouldn't scroll us down. That's really annoying. I don't really see any point in seeing this, to be honest with you. I just want to see the meat of it, you know? Yeah, I don't really care about pipeline activity. I just want to see the gallery of everything. And then when I click on something, I want it to go full screen. Hover kind of pop-up module with preview, TLDR, who it's for, what pain point it solves, resources, you know, as to why this was picked, and then view prototype, which then takes us to the prototype. That's what I want to see. I mean, this is very, very basic, but hey, it's getting there. It's getting there. Ah, okay. And see, that makes sense. So know your plan, right? It's like, if you are operating off of the 20 plan, then yes, please, like, be more mindful of it. One thing I will admit, like, through the bigger plan, you just don't pay attention to the, like, it's not like Opus 4.5 or like, you know, where things were just so insanely expensive. I'm starting to realize that Anthropic had conditioned us to accept how expensive things were. And Grok 4.5 came out recently and said, nah, we can do this 1/10 of the price, just as good and 10 times faster, which is just, and then now we have 5.6 Sol, which is a fraction of the cost of Anthropic models. And it's more effective. It's like everyone's just throwing up the middle finger to Anthropic right now. That's how I feel. So, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I got my popcorn. I pulled up a chair. I am watching. I'm loving it. It is great. I think it's a net positive for the industry, right? I think that prices continue to come down. I know there's been some talk amongst community members thinking that get used or take advantage of all you can before prices start going up. I think it's the contrary. Where's the logic there? Where's the logic there? I don't think prices continue to go up. I think they continue to go down, if anything, especially when you have somebody like Elon Musk, XAI, and Grok just coming in, doing everything just as good at a fraction of the price. OpenAI and Anthropic are going to have to compete with that. And yeah, I don't know. I think things are coming down, not going up. Now, hardware costs, yes, that continues to go up and that's going to stay up. But inference, like, listen, I feel like they want more subscriptions because that's guaranteed revenue from month to month. They know how to predict that forecast, right? Shareholders love that. But with API, it's like, sure, I'm sure you get some big contracts. I'm sure you give some discounts to big enterprise, but like, I think it's going to get, I don't know. I've just been seeing for some reason on my timeline, fear mongers. I don't know why I see it, but I see people inspiring fear, like get the most out of you can before everyone raises their prices. No, I think it's just the complete opposite. I think that's bullshit. But hey, nobody really knows at the end of the day. I don't know. They don't know, right? I get why they're posting that because it triggers people's emotions, right? It gets people to comment and disagree or agree for that matter. So I get it. I get it. I just don't agree. And I'm not going to take the time to respond to those comments. I'm just going to observe like a ninja. You know what I mean? I've been using Fable and Soul side by side all day because I launched a no-brainer offer on my vibe coded Forex project, bro. Everything crashed. Went from 100 users to 15K users. No way. Nice. Dude, that's wild. Dude, that's sick. Congrats. That's a big jump. I'm sorry to hear everything crashed, but the fact that it crashed is a good thing. You now get to learn from that and prepare for that type of attention. That's really awesome. That's a double-edged sword right there. That's awesome, but it's not. But it's awesome. It's awesome. I feel like this community would do a really good job at creating agentic contractors, self-contained systems to act as hireable employees. I'm doubling down on that being a huge industry in 5 years. Yeah, that's exactly what my retainer is revolved around, right? There's more to it, but yes, that's essentially what I do on a month-to-month basis now, based on deliverables, not based on my time. So it's actually better than Fable in your opinion. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think in most, I think Fable 5 still excels in some things, right? And I'll still continue to use both side by side, but Soul is my daily driver, not Fable. Was stuck on one error for like 3 to 4 hours. Soul fixed it in one go. Nice. Yeah, I think so too. Elon's probably going to scrap Grok after this and come out with a highly efficient from scratch model. He's the only one crazy enough. Yeah. And honestly, Grok, the name makes no sense to me. Wouldn't you just call it XAI? Wouldn't you just call it I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a rebranding at some point, but at the same time, Elon's Elon. He's going to do what Elon does, and maybe Grok is the one. But I have a feeling there's going to be some type of rebrand at some point too. I would just call everything X at this point. X chat. That's a middle finger to Chat GPT. Yeah, I don't know. That's a funny observation though. It's a good observation. Yeah. What topic? Let's call it AI agents for SMB. All right. So complete Sandbox front-end design is live, built from Anthropic's front-end design principles and installed across current profiles, future profiles. Receive it through bundled skills synchronization. Ubuntu Orange, Ubuntu Mono, Ubuntu Sans. Great, light, dark. Persistent auto light dark override. Okay. One thing it didn't. Okay, it's still running. Let's go check on it. Curious. Okay, it's looking better. It's looking better. All right, what about those ShadeCN based components from ui.watermelon.sh? I thought I told you to make sure that's a standard in our build and all future builds for that matter. So the toggle on the top right hand side on the nav header, it can be improved to say it nicely. It should be a light dark toggle with a, it doesn't have to indicate that it's on auto. That's up to you. Additionally, as I'm scrolling down on the Sandbox SaaS homepage, I think there's a better way to summarize that little graph that you have there. It takes up too much empty space. Attempts, staged, QA passed. I feel like that can be incorporated somewhere into the hero header. And then below that, I just want to get straight into the gallery. Currently, when I click a module in the gallery, it scrolls me down. I don't want that to be the function. I want it to pop up a pop-up module split. Along the left-hand side is a preview with a button at the bottom of that column saying preview prototype, which opens up a new tab to actually play with the prototype. And then off to the right on that split screen pop-up module, second column, that's where we talk about who the buyer is. Well, first the hypothesis, the manifesto, who it's for, what pain point does it solve, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of those other details below. I think that'll be a lot cleaner. And then this durable task pipeline, I don't see the point of this. Is this just a reflection of our Kanban board? I think that's pointless. Let's clean that up. And then more importantly, like when I go and click on Quote Nest, for example, I mean, these are very basic. I think that it should follow a similar approach to the Sandbox SaaS front-end design skill, but I think that per idea, per product, per micro-SaaS, it should make, the automation should make a judgment call as far as what color palette is this micro-SaaS going to be based off of. They should all be unique in a sense, and they should be unique in a sense based off the target audience and the market that it's being built for. Let me know if you have any questions to help fine tune this part. All right, let's copy paste that prompt in there as well. And this is just me kind of vibing my way through it, right? I'm not reading from a checklist. This is just top of mind. I'm gonna paste that in there. Hey, right on, John. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Sunday. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this full episode when you get to rewatch it. Oh, I was gonna pin your message, but it got removed. Whose name? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hey, right on. Yeah, listen, this is like, I love doing, this is my favorite part of it. Where did that prompt go though? There's no way he responded already to me. What? No, he's thinking right here. Oh, it's below the pinned comment. Yeah, he's thinking. So there's just this weird UI bug in the dashboard. We gotta, I don't think it's being caused by us, right? So I'll just stay scrolled down until that populates. Okay, he's still working. That's our focus, AI agents for SMB. Come on, show us something. This isn't the most exciting thing to look at. Come on, Yoda. Guess we'll just stay up here until he's ready. When did we start? Let me actually check what our usage is at. I'm very curious. I believe we started the episode around 60 something percent. I want to say it was 69%. So we're on 3% of the week on today's kind of prompts. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Also, I got to tease this. I am using Soul to improve on Prompt Browser. And we have a new skin coming for Prompt Browser, which is a free tool that we have. I'm loving the direction we're taking this. Similar look and feel, but I wanted to tease that a little bit. And if you're unaware, Prompt Browser, shameless plug, is a free tool to use. All you do is paste in your YouTube video that you don't feel like watching. It will analyze the transcript and present extractable prompts for you to pull from that video. It'll give you timestamps so that you can go to that point to access to point in that video and watch it for yourself. Sometimes it'll say visual prompt on screen. It can't extract that, at least not yet. So then you can go here and screenshot it, right? Right? It's pretty fun. It has a sign-in feature for you to save your own. I'm incorporating some new features here, but what's really cool is when you go to the channels tab, it's not just Clearmud videos that it extracts from. It's any AI video on YouTube. it has a certain criteria that it follows to determine whether or not there's prompts to begin with, whether or not it's AI related. I've tested this with like music videos and random videos, and so far our filter system is pretty solid to where it'll just push back an error saying, hey, this video is not like, I forget the terminology I use in there, but you can't extract a prompt from this video, so please try another one. But I find out other creators here because other people in the community are using this tool. Slowly but surely. I think one thing we should incorporate is when was this ran? So we can kind of see. By default, it should be most recent, but we need to add some filter tags up here, right? Just to see the date it was processed. But a lot of these are new. Yeah, it's pretty nifty. So feel free to use it. It'll always remain free to a certain extent. I think a combined I pay, I forget how many. I want to say the overhead is like $5 a month for 1,000 calls, if I'm not mistaken, because I couldn't get away with using YTDLP for this one, the free option. I had to go use, this is not a paid promo, but I used, I believe, Transcript API, and I just pay $5 a month. And I actually use that API for other projects right now, since this one doesn't have that much attention. But listen, I'm going to remain it on that free or on that $5 plan for, you know, the length of, the life of this tool essentially. So, but yeah, we're going to be deploying a newer version of it very soon. I'm still working on all that locally. Ooh, okay. Okay. That didn't improve yet. I mean, he's still working off my prompt, so he's just not responding to it yet. I kind of want to hard refresh this page. We can see it, but we can't. Yeah, it's like a weird little glitch. Not cool, dude. Not cool. Yeah, that's boring. All right. Okay. I mean, he's working. We're just waiting now at this point. He's working too. Where is he? Currently 2 tasks. Okay. So we're just waiting. Yes. If you do this though, I would either create a Docker environment for that chatbot or put in strict guardrails to make sure that they can't be manipulated. Now, most people wouldn't know, but yes, it is possible. And you can get away with it through your subscription, through some fancy workarounds. Maybe I'll make a video out of that. That's a very unique use case for sure. But how much it'll cost is dependent on, you know, A, do you try to patch it together with an OAuth sub? Or B, do you actually build a chatbot that calls on API, right? Calls on an API key that you pay inference for. That's the real question you have to decide there. But yes, it is possible. Is it possible to use GLM monthly plan on Hermes? I think so. I personally don't have that, so I haven't tested it. I want Hermes Agent to spawn Claude code. Yeah, it can do that. No problem. No problem. I have a specific... I have specific agents that call on Claude in the CLI. I have an engineering Claude agent, and then I have a research Claude agent here on my personal day-to-day system here. And they get invoked only when I ask for it, right? But let's go and look at models in our demo account. Okay, it's showing me 0 models because I don't have anything authenticated, but yeah, GLM is supported. Pretty much any models, most all models should be accessible. I just personally haven't tested it, so I can't give you the demo and the play-by-play, sadly. Hey, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I mean, we're almost 3 hours in. we are a decent ways in, but hey, you know, better late than never. Better late than never. Okay, there we go. We're all caught up. Beautiful. What should the next validation step be? Approve the contracts and run the secondary topic. Tighten the collector rules. Let's go follow. I love this onboarding of, you guys remember what started this prompt is, you know, I want to create a set of like a pipeline of research before we decide on the topic. And it's just walked me through the pipeline. We picked a topic. We're picking the process. This is another great way to create an automation is you give it like a TLDR of what you'd like to accomplish, but you want to work with your main agent or your orchestrator agent through the process of building that automation. You learn more about it too this way, rather than just copy pasting somebody's master prompt or somebody's skill. Build it yourself. You learn more. You start to get little ideas of what to build and how to build it, right? Listen, I'm not against giving out master prompts, but my favorite part of these boot camps is people discovering and getting ideas just from watching my process and me building things in a certain way, rather than just giving you a prompt. Giving you a prompt teaches you nothing. It doesn't teach you anything, right? I just make videos. I show, like, listen, the amount of leads I get from this amount of subs is insane. Now, I know if I were to niche down even further and make videos specifically targeting SMBs, small to mid-sized companies in a specific industry, that would 10x the amount of leads. Listen, I don't go hunting for customers. Customers come hunting for me. There's a big difference. I'm not that type of person who I will spam you and be aggressive on LinkedIn or X. Listen, I just make good content. I make content I stand behind, that I know what I'm doing, and they roll in. Like I don't have to go chase clients. It's really awesome. It's really awesome. Hey, Somei, I love it. I tell my ideas to chat and it writes the prompts. Exactly. I love it. But yeah, man, like alls, going back to it, it's like I don't go hunting for new customers. I don't. They come to me. But I also don't, I don't approach a discovery call or inbound leads that get verified. I don't approach them with desperation. To me, I don't care if we sign the contract. I'm very transparent. I am very honest in my dealings, in my meetings. I don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care about the customer or the potential that could be, but I'm never going to rush into a condensed timeline, a window of Mayday priority. We need this done in this amount of time. And I know that's a stretch. Like, I only chase or I only pursue retainers now. I'm tired of trading my time one for one. I think I've shared this, many times. I'll share this again. Earlier this year, I was doing a lot of one-on-one hourly based gigs and project based bids. That was great to earn some money, but there's a big flaw in that approach. You can't scale your time and you can't scale those project based bids. What you can scale are retainers with a preset number of monthly deliverables. Now, how that looks for you is going to be different than how that looks for me, and how I price it and how you price it, and who you're targeting. What pain points are you solving, right? But that's what I'm focused on now. I've essentially sunsetted all one-on-one calls. I just don't do it anymore. I don't have the time. And nor, like, no offense, I just don't want to make the time for it. I would rather focus on monthly agreements, monthly retainers, and focusing on making sure that we go above and beyond those expectations of those monthly deliverables that we need to honor, right? That's my business model. That's how I do things now. Now, it wasn't like that at the start. I had to hustle. I had to trade my time one for one, but I knew that I was going to veer away from that at some point. And I'm finally at that point, and it feels awesome. It feels awesome. Hope that answers your question. But yeah, I don't go chasing. I don't go chasing. I feel like a client can smell desperation as well if you're chasing. A client worth working for, at least. Or let me rephrase that, working with. All right, that's done. Yeah, I think we've covered all the topics. We're just finishing some automations here. And please, now's the time. Like, if you want to see me cover something I didn't cover yet, and it's related to skills, crons, or automations in general, please speak now or forever hold your peace. Tomorrow we do have a fine tuning day, which is just going to be a jack of all trades type of day. Nice. Yeah, listen, I'm a big believer of under promising and over delivering, right? Yes, it's good to have a contractual agreement, a preset number of deliverables. Yes, that's great. But it's not a bad thing to exceed those expectations every once in a while. Surprise and delight. That's what builds that loyalty, that brand loyalty, or that customer loyalty, right? Because they know that they only paid for a certain amount. But on any given month, you can surprise and delight them with some 1, 2, or 3 additional deliverables that they'll be a customer for life. You know, you don't want to obviously make that an expectation. It should be a surprise. That's always been my approach. Well, let me rephrase that. That has not always been my approach. Early in my career, I promised too much, and because I hated saying no to clients, you know, in my early 20s. But I learned my lesson. You know, I'm in my late 30s now, so it's you know, almost 2 decades of experience working in the B2B space. And you kind of learn these things along the way, right? Sometimes you have to overpromise and underdeliver to learn the lesson, to make those mistakes, to not follow through on deadlines because you promised too much. Sometimes that needs to happen. It's a necessary evil in your career. What should the next validation step be? Approve the contracts and run the second topic pilots. Okay. Tighten contract rules. What should the second pilot investigate? I think it should niche down based on industry related to AI agents / SMBs. Make sense? Today has just been all skills, crons. We prepared this master prompt to create this Sandbox SaaS factory automation to where every night this Hermes Agent demo account is going to build us a new micro-SaaS idea. I'm going to release that master prompt in the form of a video prop on the website. I'll also drop it in Discord. So if you're not already in Discord, go join Discord. All you got to do is go to clearmud.link and you'll see our Discord link in there. I can give the master prompt, but as you found in this video, I gave my agent this master prompt that I pulled off my other system, right? But it wasn't perfect. We're vibing our way through the process. We're vibing our way through a front-end design skill for the factory itself, and then all outputs. And then we're vibing our way through kind of a research-focused automation here as well. What vertical should the second pilot use? HVAC, plumbing. Let's go with GCs. And I can't spell. Man, I can't believe it's almost 2 p.m. here. It's 1:20. Wow. We just vibing. Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. So you have some solid foundational knowledge and experience. That's good. That's awesome, man. All right. There that is. Kind of confusing though in Telegram. I'm not sure if anybody's noticed this with their Hermes agent. Sometimes you're answering questions, but instead of updating the list, it'll go back up here and update the list here. Right? So you can see it's doing the work, general contractors construction, but it's like you would think that it would kind of update at the bottom. That's a one little weird quirk of working in Telegram, I've noticed. But hey, it's just all about knowing that that happens, so you know you're not like your agent's working. It's not just ignoring you. All right, we're gonna keep that full screen because clearly that's the reason it bugs out. I think I've discovered it. The Hermes agent dashboard, anytime I go this small, it leaves this black empty space. But as long as I keep it about 3/4 of the way, and I just jinxed myself, didn't I? That's hilarious. I jinxed it. I jinxed it, didn't I? Son of a... Yo, Vasco. Yep, I'm back in the US for now, for a few months until it's harvest time, and then I'll be back. I also got a new client over here I want to pay close attention to. I go to their headquarters every week, once a week. You know, I'm using this as a, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a framework to make sure I fine tune and make these deliverables more efficient. They're also more of an old school type company. They like physical presence. So it's not the type of company that you would ever try to close on over the phone or through a virtual meeting. You got to also know your audience too. For all of you looking for new clients, you got to understand there's still a big part of the market when it comes to clients that you may want to work with who, like, they don't just solely trust somebody who just shows up on a webcam, right? Like, you got to know your target, know your market, know your target, know who you're working with, right? I think that's very key and very, very, very important. I've always been a people person. I love in-person calls. I love in-person meets. But I'm also a little bit more old school than this younger generation who it's all remote. It's all just web first. Let's see. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Obrigado. Yeah, it's trust me, I wish I could be in Portugal more. Like, I already miss it. I do. But it's just one of those things where, you know, I want to do things right over here and it requires me staying a little bit longer here than I wanted to. And that's okay. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. But I do miss it. I do miss it. I can already smell the trees in the rain in the winter when I go back to harvest. I'm excited to get back. All right, he's been running. I gotta say, I just love, like, we don't have to stare at the screen. We can walk away. But GPT 5.6 Soul just works, just does the work, even more so than 5.5 within your Hermes agent or OpenClaw agent system. Like, they were already running long enough. And now, like, sheesh, it's just awesome. Like, we're chilling here. We're vibing in chat, waiting for waiting for these 2 sessions to finish up. I need to think about what I want for lunch. I think it's the type of day where I cook everything in the fridge because tomorrow's a grocery run in the morning before our episode 4. This is Hermes Agent. So we actually haven't spun up the Hermes desktop app yet. That's going to be tomorrow, I decided. That's in the fine-tuning day. And we may very well do an episode 5, but you know, the reason I'm streaming on this weekend here is because of my weekday schedule and commitments now, I couldn't carve out a decent chunk of time from Monday to Friday to commit to live streaming every day of the week. So I had to pick a weekend. So I picked this weekend, Friday through Monday, just 4 live streams in a row. And the whole goal of this boot camp has been to teach people the foundational knowledge to get a system up and running, right? Set up a team, set up some automations, understand how agents versus subagents versus asynchronous tasks work, when and where to use what versus the other, how to create your own skill, how to create your own workflow, how to create these different automations, right? Not just from a perspective of having people copy me outright, because what I'm building isn't going to apply for everybody, but the foundation of setting everything up and showing you the process of how I build it, that should spark ideas for the end user, for the person watching it, right? That's my goal of this boot camp, is to just give you enough foundational knowledge and demonstrative steps on my screen to then allow you to build your own version of it, right? And yeah, it's just a completely free boot camp, 4 episodes. We'll eventually do, I think, an episode 5. Depending on how tomorrow goes, if I feel like it's enough, it's enough, but we may very well do a follow-up kind of recap episode 5. Not sure yet. Not sure yet. Yeah, it digs and digs and digs and digs. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I've heard that medium is also a sweet spot. Since this system is new, I'm using X high. And also I asked, what do you think our structure should be as far as different reasoning levels for different agents with our, small, moderate 5 agent team here. And we decided on X high, but for example, most of these other ones are high or medium. I think the only X highs are me and engineering, if I'm not mistaken. And then creative, marketing, operations, and research, they're all high or medium, I want to say. Honestly, can't decide if I want to move from Claude Code Agent Fleet to Hermes. I only use Claude models, and I don't think I can use it on Hermes. Yeah, you can. Technically, you can. But there's just little workarounds. It's not as native, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a personal decision you got to make for yourself, man. I wish I could make that decision for you. If I may be devil's advocate, maybe this isn't even a devil's advocate. Assuming you're paying for the $200 max sub, maybe do 100 of Claude and 100 of OpenAI. So you still get to utilize Claude code. You still get to use it as is, but then you get to see the power of Hermes Agent using ChatGPT's 5.6 Soul. That might be, because then it's the same cost for you. It's just 2 different payments, right? Same overall cost, 2 payments. And then you start to get to play with both, right? Unless, of course, you're easily hitting 100% usage of your current Claude Code sub, right? Because keep in mind, going down to the $100 a month is, and this is me assuming you're on the $200 a month plan. I believe you are, if I remember correctly. That would limit your usability of Claude if you're already getting close to that 0% on the week. I might move back to OpenAI if ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT is better at designing for sure. And maybe you can transition, like I was just saying, just split the subscriptions. And then if you start to see yourself using Claude less and less and less, just then allocate that extra 100 to upgrading, Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. Obrigado. Merci. Grazie mille. That's about the extent of all the thank yous I know. Spasibo? No, spasibo is, you're welcome? Yeah, I don't think that's thank you. I went to Ukraine once, and that was like one of the only words that stuck with me. And I'm butchering it, I'm sure, right now. Yeah, I hope it helps. Like, listen, if you're not using clothes, if you're using about 50% of a $200 a month sub, it might be worth downgrading to 100, getting 100 OpenAI, and then just testing both. That way you don't have to limit yourself and stop working with your Claude Code workflow and preferred workflow. and then you start to kind of see the power of both. That would be my ideal move if I were you. All right. Looks like we are done here as well. Let's go see its results. Gallery change is now live. Ooh, adapted watermelon switch mode component from its library. Header presents a clean light dark mode toggle. Left product review. Expandable card patterns. Look at this. Solid. Every Go stage build must now. Okay, enough reading. Let's go check it out, shall we? Bam. Much cleaner. Maybe a little too clean. Nice toggle. I would honestly get rid of the text. Like I wanted something a little bit simpler, but hey, that works. Like honestly, just this toggle with the icons in the toggle. Like that's the move. That's such a cleaner move. All right, so a few notes is on the nav header, the light dark mode toggle looks great, but I just want to see the toggle itself and the alternating circle that goes from one side to the next. That's where the icon should be. There's just a lot of wasted space here. It should just look like a toggle, and then the icon should alternate, you know, depending on what you're toggled on. Simple. The hero header, not mad at it. Okay, pop-up module looks good. Looks like select seal doesn't have a preview. How about this? Before I give you more feedback here, I want you to force run 5 micro-SaaS builds based off of all our new criteria. Also, please confirm that you updated the micro-SaaS outputs front-end design skill as well, so that each one is unique per project. Yeah, because I don't want to go through and test these old outputs. I want to test some new ones. So force 5 through the pipeline right now, please. And then fix that nav header. And also create a good logo. What is this logo you created? Maybe create some type of like Minecraft inspired cube or something like that. I don't know. And that's it for now. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. Let's go back to this workflow here. Proof and build staggered overnight workflow. Yeah, listen, let's just approve and build. Why not? Yeah, that might be the move, to be honest. But with how cheap Grok is, I'm kind of seeing like if this holds up and Grok continues to be 1/10 that of the cost of Anthropic models. Well, in theory, that $30 a month Grok sub is the equivalent of a $300 a month Grok sub. Do you see my point? So like, during my tests, it feels like I'm on a $200 a month Claude or OpenAI sub with my Grok plan on 30. With how much I did this week and how little of the weekly usage I've used up, it's insane. It's insane. So like, think from that perspective too. It's 1/10 of the cost. So do you need to 1-for-1 trade that dollar? I don't think so. I think Grok is like the most value driven subscription right now. I think that, listen, don't quote me. I think that $30 a month sub is the equivalent of a $200 a month OpenAI, or, well, maybe not OpenAI, because OpenAI is definitely cheaper and more efficient than Anthropic, but I think that's equivalent to that of a $200 a month Claude sub. And it's the clear winner, in my opinion, if you're looking at its sheer value. So yeah. Come on, refresh, please. Hate it when you go black on the screen like that. Come on. I hate that bug. We got to fix that. Yeah, that's just going to be glitchy. $300 in Canada, be exact. Yeah, I remember you having to deal with all that tax up there. And it's just that I couldn't get Hermes to work properly, but do it for this bootcamp episode. Wanted to set it up using like 80%. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. It might even be worth a shot to do it with Grok, to be honest. Yeah, I've primarily, I would say 70% of all my usage has come from high. I've recently started testing more X high. Ultra technically isn't a reasoning or effort, right? It's kind of like the ultra code of Claude Code, where it's gonna pick something between low and X high. But in most all cases, it's going to use high and X high. Yeah, so I was testing just builds itself. I haven't created a Grok Hermes build yet. I actually have a side project I'm working on. It's just an experiment. I don't know if it's going to work. I had to backlog it for a few weeks now. But now that I have this hardware, I saved tags across all socials for this initiative. It's a fun one. I'm not going to tease it yet. I want to see if it works. I think I'm going to be using Grok as the primary driver for that Hermes deployment, to be honest. It just makes the most sense. Oh, that reminds me. I got to do my daily check on eBay. See if there's these M4s back in stock. There's such good value. Just need somebody to return one so they become available again. No, not there. Yeah. I think, hey, listen, like, I guess it's good for certain use cases, but I think it's overkill for most, you know? Oh, Sharma, if you watch this recording, I think I'm going to have to go to the store just for one ingredient today. I need some peanut butter. I want to make these, this chili peanut kind of like noodle dish. And I need just like a tablespoon of peanut butter at least. And I don't have any left here. I think I'm going to have to go to the store for that. I'm craving that type of chili noodles right now. All right. Well, that's working. Let me pop open a few things here. Yep. Look it up. It's like a Thai chili peanut type noodle dish, but it's not only Thai. Like you can make it in a lot of different types of cuisine, but like the base of it is some type of nutty butter with some chili, some hot sauce, whatever your preference of chili is. A little bit of olive oil, right? You saute all your veggies however you see fit. Cook your noodles separately. Combine everything, and then you obviously whisk together the peanut butter with the oil, with a little bit of minced garlic, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of chili, and then you pour that in, mix that in with a spatula or some tongs, and then dish it, top with some green onions. Mwah, chef's kiss. It's amazing. Why did my OBS just get crazy? What is going on? Why did that doc show up out of nowhere? It's just like, yikes. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. That's annoying how I have to... I do not like that. Unlock docs. Let me move that up. All right, so now as I move that and make that larger, looks good. Now lock docs. Forgive me, I'm fixing OBS real time. It kind of got a little crazy there for a sec. There we go. Lock and resize. Much better. Much better. That's a great use case. Ultra is operational effort mode. How many agents to throw at the thing, where low, medium, high, X high, and max are reasoning levels. Don't know why they call it ultra. Yeah. To me, it sounds exactly like ultra code with Claude code, which is very similar, right? It defines how many subagents it's about to spin up. It decides what level of reasoning level, right? What level of reasoning each subagent. It's almost identical to what's funny is that they call it ultra, and then it's Claude Code Ultra on Claude Code side, or Ultra Code on Ultra side. Ultra Code on Claude side. Let me rephrase that. It's funny, huh? It's like they lack originality for that one there. Like if anything, they should have called it Mars. I don't know. That was a bad idea. Sometimes I'm filled with some bad ideas, you know, but they should have called it something related to the branding of all three models. You would think, right? But oh no. Okay, let's see. Nav header replaced. A corrected 5 product batches live. Build 1. Queued sequentially. I kind of just want them all to run side by side by side. Let's see how this VM is doing. Resource wise. I mean, already, we had maxed out over that 4 gigs that we had when we started. So now it's using, it's only got about 1.5 gigs free. Let me open this. Let's just make this full screen. Are we going to have to give it more? Okay. I was going to tell it just to run them all back to back to back, but it makes sense. I'm glad it did it sequentially so it didn't just crash the VM. Okay. Everything looks good. All right. Let's just go check. Hopefully one of them is previewable. This one's new, but nothing, there's no prototype. So I think it's in the process of building it out. So we just have to wait. Love this. This is turning out exceeding my expectations, to be honest. Hyperspace. That would have been even better too. Hyperdrive. Isn't that from a Star Wars thing? Where the Millennium Falcon goes into hyperdrive? Is that what that's called? What's the term? I forget what it's called. It should have been that, you know? But then that would imply that you're like moving fast. So I feel like that should enable fast mode if they call it that. Fast mode plus high through X high through max reasoning levels. Man, that would be a token burn if I had ever seen one. Sheesh. We can close all that. Close all that. Classic. That still makes me laugh every time. Hey, look at that cube. Looking more like a little sand. All right, I like it. Good job. I just now noticed that. All right. Nothing ready here yet. I feel like the manifesto should be up top. Like the structure of how it's presenting this information is questionable. More better mode. Seeds, acknowledgement. And then I think evidence, 8 sources. Yeah, we should link the evidence here as well. But I think this is something we do for fine-tuning tomorrow, because now we're at that stage of fine-tuning things. Oh, look at that toggle. Looks so much cleaner. Love that. Beautiful. Wonderful. Great job. See, with a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of fine-tuning. Now, I think we do have to do something about this full width. I don't like how this is full width and not aligned with the icon and this here. But that's not going to be something I prompt today. I just want to test one as soon as one's ready. Ping me once the first one is ready to preview, please. You know, one thing we can also do instead of sitting here and waiting, we know it's about to run a batch of 5. We're now into the category of fine-tuning things. I wonder if we don't just slowly close out this episode now, and then we fine-tune tomorrow. What's everyone's thoughts here? Did we do enough today? Are we all happy with today? Or is there something still missing from the theme of the day? I'd love to hear your thoughts. This one's still working as well, because otherwise we're just sitting here waiting, killing time. I'm also, my stomach in the background is also like, you know, I always wait until noon to eat every day. You know, it's only liquids and coffee in the morning. So I haven't eaten yet today. It's almost 2 p.m. So I am getting to that point where it's like, ooh, my mouth is watering thinking about what I'm about to cook. But now I'm realizing I need to go to the store just for some peanut butter. So I want to go knock that out the way. But that's not why I would be ending it right now. It's ending it from the perspective of, okay, I feel like everything we're doing now is fine-tuning things. I think today we covered a lot of different automations. We covered the learn out of the gate. We covered workflows, skills. I mean, I'm not sure what else is left on the list for today. I think we tackled everything, unless there's some custom solution somebody wants built. Then we'll mix that into the fold here. Otherwise, I think everything else falls into fine-tuning for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. All right, this one completed here. Overnight research automation. AI agents for SMBs, AI for general contractors. X authenticated access verified. Collector policy enforced. Research quality improved. Durable workflow created. Great. Test state. Okay. Let's just go preview these findings here, right? We didn't create a front end for these. This is great. Okay. Sources everything. So now, do we want to create a front end for this brief? Or do we want it in Telegram? Oh, I can't open. Oh, we can't open Markdown files in browsers yet. That should be standard. What's going on with that? Okay, acceptance still required. Confirm live research. Head smoke run. Listen, I love what I'm looking at. I love the progress we've made. I'm wondering if we don't turn this into an email me this brief every morning, rather than we're starting to pile too many outputs into Telegram delivery. But, you know, just for the sake of the next few days, yes, set it to Telegram, set homes, do Discord and Telegram. I don't care. But I think we should explore the idea of giving you access to an email address so you can email me this morning brief so I can read it as a nicely structured, formatted, styled email rather than a wall of text. Okay. Right on, right on. Yeah. Hold on, let's finish with this prompt here, because if he wants to set up an email right now, we'll finish that this episode. Otherwise, we'll end it. We'll see. This one's gonna work. This darn bug. Okay. Yeah, at this point, we're just sitting and waiting. All right, that's done there. What do you mean going insane? In a good way or a bad way? First it was markdown files, now it's HTML docs. Soon it's going to be something else. They're going to bring back Flash. Like, you never know. You never know. Crazy about everything. It's like one new little thing, everyone goes crazy. And it's not even new. It's not even new. It's just, it's funny. Yeah, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. OKF? What extension is that? OKF. Open knowledge format. I should have known that. I should have known that. Okay. Nice, nice. That's your preference? All right. Yeah. Listen, I think it's been a solid episode. So let's open it up for Q&A. I know today was more of a vibe with the chat in the comments and kind of build live. But if there's anything that you want to see covered for the fine tuning episode tomorrow, now's the time to request it so I can plan ahead. I think we made a lot of progress today. I was originally not expecting to build out that SaaS factory for you guys, but I think that was a fun one. I think that master prompt will be very valuable to people. Keep in mind, you saw what it did for us. It didn't create some finely tuned version of it. It created a nice foundation, but now we fine tune things and we tweak things to our liking. We tweak what we want the outputs to look like, right? We create our custom or apply our custom front-end design skills and any other requirements within that, right? We're vibing our way through that build. But I think at the end of this, we're going to have a really cool SaaS factory built out. Yeah, I think that's the move. Listen, I'm going to let him work. And what I'll do is I won't touch either chat until tomorrow. I'm just going to minimize and keep this tab open, minimize that. And we'll just continue tomorrow from this point in time. I think that's the move. So yeah, listen, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me on this Sunday. You know, it's a unique day for me to live stream. I normally don't do this, but this boot camp was a special event. So I'd like to see how you get your agents to pass info to each other. I'm working on an agent to agent implementation for my team to pass messages off Kanban. We'll share more once I get it working. Yes. So that's on the list for tomorrow for sure. That's top of list. We'll finish testing what we were deploying here at the end of this episode, and then we'll get that agent to agent communication working. I do not. That might not be a bad thing to incorporate for tomorrow's live stream, to be honest. Because I feel like while that's an automation, that's also a fine tuning thing too. Like its purpose is to fine tune your system overnight, right? So I'm going to make the judgment call that that's a fine tune. So Muddy, Neo, add these to your list for tomorrow's curriculums. You know, agent to agent communication, show how we would set that up. I think doing a shared Discord comms is the most demo friendly approach. Also showing people the trick of agents being able to send messages to an agent's gateway via their inbox, via agent runtime. That's another workaround. But the user doesn't get to see that as much. And then also doing a self-improvement cycle outside of Hermes, outside of Hermes's built-in skill improvement. What else? What else, chat? What else are we adding for tomorrow? Neo and Muddy are listening right now. They're not listening right now. They're just going to download the transcript in 4 to 6 hours. All right, listen, I think that's a solid ending point. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their Sunday to hang out. I hope you found some value in this live stream. This has been a fun boot camp. Tomorrow we close it all out. We fine tune it. We'll go as long as we need to until we're satisfied with ending it. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend. Don't forget to go get some sunlight, touch some grass if you can. And we'll be back at it tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. PST to start. That is 6 p.m. European, Western European time. Until then, have a great Sunday. Happy building. Cheers. Also, let's do a quick thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Vasco. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Koi. Thank you, Alls. Thank you, Somei. Thank you, Mira. Thank you, Huznain. Thank you, John. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Tex. Thank you, Sharma. And forgive me if I missed your comment. I can only scroll up so far on Social Stream Ninja's little chat plugin here. So yeah.